have you guys been doing, kind of regrouping from that and trying to move forward and turn things around here?
Last week is last week. I think we came out here today with the right energy, right mindset, and had really good practice.
Obviously, you came here hoping to potentially have a chance at trying to win a championship with this team. Right now, sitting at 3-6, how frustrating is that to be in this position right now?
It's pretty frustrating. I don't like to revert back to team I kind of played with, but I've been on the team 3-5 and go to NFC Championship, and I still have all the belief in the world in this team that we can turn it around and get going.
How can you turn it around? What has to happen?
We have to continue to do what we did today. Come out here with great energy, practice well, and just bring each other along.
What does that show about this team, about keeping the positivity, the same energy? What does that show about this group?
It just shows that we're still capable of winning. We're still capable of doing the things that we set out to do.
Deebo, you had some years with your former team where there were a bunch of injuries. What kind of mental toll does it take on a team?
A lot, especially just start with our quarterback. It took all the air out the ball. Seeing him go down, and just the ones before that, all the other guys. It's just like, geez, like, can we catch a break? It's kind of like the injury bug, but with this game comes with that. So you kind of just got to take it under the chin and next man up mentality.
Deebo, if you had to pick one word to describe what this week means for this team, what word would that be?
One word. Energy.
Deebo, was yesterday odd at all having to sit through the trade deadline? Were you worried about that?
No.
For yourself or
No.
for guys on the team?
No.
Coach mentioned that sometimes the guys almost seem like they're trying too hard. But there's a situation in the second quarter, second and short, we're trying to go for the home run ball instead of just getting the first down. Is there such a thing as trying too hard?
It is, in a sense. You kind of know, like third down, fourth down, when we're going for it, it's like, all right, we got to have this play. We got to have this play. And it's kind of like the mindset. And, we got to get to the point where we're not trying too hard. And we're just doing the things that, we set out to do, the things we come out here and do every day.
How do you kind of get chemistry? I know you've played with Marcus some already, but how do you kind of get chemistry quickly, knowing he's going to be the guy?
Kind of like you said, I done played with him enough to have enough chemistry with him right now.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Obviously, looks like you're going to be the starter here on Sunday against the Lions. It's a big game. How are you approaching it?
The same that I do every week, and just grind it out day by day. Get out here and practice. Get out here with the guys. Get things communicated, and get ready to roll for Sunday.
What's the mentality of this team right now? Obviously, 4-game losing streak. You know you got to get some wins here coming up.
One day at a time. That's all you can control. You can't get all 4 games back in one. So the more that we just focus on today and getting better, I think those will stack up, and we'll find a way to get a win.
Coach Quinn talked about wanting you guys to feel like your backs against the wall, but also at the same time not trying to do too much. How do you balance those two?
Well, I think it's a sense of urgency, but understanding that just do your part. You don't got to put the Superman cape on. I think that's kind of what is communicated throughout the building. And at the same time, it's one of those things, you just got to fight and claw. And I believe in the guys in here that they'll do that, and we'll be where we want to be.
I know we talked about this on Sunday, and we appreciate what you had to say about Jaden and all that, but how weird was it just being out of practice and not seeing number 5?
It is different. It is different. He's the face of the franchise, and the more that we can, again, get him healthy, get him ready to go, it'll be good for everybody. And he's always in here. He's in the building, always in good spirits. Like I said on Sunday, like that doesn't change for Jay, and that's something that's really special about him. So he's always around. He's around in meetings, and I think the more that he is around, guys appreciate it.
How have you learned to deal with situations like this over the years? Like, did you deal with it differently when you were younger versus how you are now?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, when I was battling some of these injuries early on in my career, like I kind of burdened. It just felt like a burden. Like I was letting guys down. I was letting the team down, letting the franchise down, the organization down. And I think for all of us, like we want to make sure Jay understands, like those things are out of your control. Focus on getting healthy, getting right, and everything else will take care of itself.
Deebo, so
Go ahead.
he's just up here saying, like, he's been on teams that have started 3-5 and wound up in the NFC Championship game. Do you feel like this team still has like that belief?
Absolutely, and it starts up top with DQ. He sets the mood every day. Guys follow that, and I do believe that. And again, it's not going to all happen at once. We understand that. Being out here, taking it one day at a time, getting things corrected, getting things organized, making sure everyone's on the same page, so that when we do get to Sunday, guys are feeling confident and ready to go.
How do you build on the half you had in Kansas City where the ball was getting out and you were moving downfield?
Yeah, again, it's just continuing to not shoot ourselves in the foot. I think in the second half we had, whether it's penalties, negative plays, those types of things really hurt our drives. So it's cleaning up little things. I think as an offense we are close, and the more that everyone is on the same page, I think those things will get cleaned up.
Positivity in this locker room.
I think everybody's doing good. I think we just want to win and want to get a win, and I think everybody in the building, coaches, players, are trying to do the best job to get that done.
Joe Witt Jr. moving down to the field for Sunday. What kind of difference does that make?
We'll see. I mean, I've always had the defense coordinator on the field, so I think my opinion is a little biased, but I've seen it both ways. Like, people in the booth have been successful, people have been on the field. I guess the only thing that I would say would be a difference is just you can communicate with the players like right after a drive. My apologies. Right after a drive, and so we'll just see.
Bob, was there any anxiety or tension yesterday going through the trade deadline, wondering, hey, we've lost 4 in a row, is anything going to happen here?
No, I meditate too much, so I was very relaxed.
When you go through a season when you have this many injuries, is it hard to not feel like we're the snake bit this year?
I think a lot of that is just your mentality. You can. That's the easy way to go, is to say, why me? The harder way is to just keep your head up and try to figure out how you can make the most of the situation. So that's where my energy is towards, and that's what I believe.
Have you been in a season where whatever the record was, it was going the wrong way, and then all of a sudden it just turned?
Yeah, a couple times in Seattle, it was, we're not looking that great, and then we rattled off like 8 wins in a row, and so it's possible if you believe.
What turns it though? What turns it? Do you remember? What are those things that kind of can turn something around like this?
Just the players believing, coaches believing, city believing. A lot of it is just belief and just doing the work. A lot of times work takes care of a lot of stuff.
Bobby, how important is it for you as the leaders to get a message across? You can't get it all back at once. It's got to start with just Detroit.
Yeah, we can't look past nothing. We can't go back and redo the plays that we've missed and things of that nature. We got to just focus on this game, try to get this win, and build from there. And that's kind of what you try to do, because you can't overlook any teams in this position.
Jordan's been getting more run the last couple of weeks. How have you kind of seen his progression?
He's been great. He's flying around, he's making plays. He's using his hands. He's getting in the backfield, and he's going to be a special player for sure.
Your thoughts on Frank's suspension, lifted, and that stuff?
I'm happy.
It happened so fast.
Yeah, I'm happy it was lifted. I thought it was interesting that the message kind of came out so quick. It made it seem like it was like a done deal versus waiting the appeal process and things of that nature. So I think a lot of the emotions from that came from how fast everybody got it out, because a lot of people weren't even aware that he was in this position at all, including ourselves. And so obviously it's something that the league is paying attention to. And, we're going to do our best to help and try to make sure that this is not a thing moving forward.
How do you change your technique as a linebacker, knowing that they're now hunting for this particular tackle? Is it difficult to adjust?
That's tough, because I think everybody's still trying to figure out what it is and what's the letter of the law. Because when you watch the games, he's not being penalized for them.
Yep.
So a lot of the time as a player, if you're in the league and you're doing something and nothing's penalized, you walk away from the game thinking everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then you get the letter in the mail and you're like, oh, it's not fine. And so it lets you know that everybody's still trying to figure out, what this thing is and how they're officiating, how we can do better. I've always believed that we always make it harder for the defense, and so I'm that guy. But we always been able to adjust. Defense been able to adjust. They've been changing rules on us since I've got here, and we always adjust probably too well because they're like, okay, well, let's just make another rule then since they're adjusting so well. So I don't think it's something you think about because this game is too violent to be conscious of. You want to work on it at practice to try to make it muscle memory, and you hope that your muscle memory takes over, but that takes time. You know, you brought it to his attention a couple weeks ago or whatever it was, and so give time. Like you know, everybody knows Frankie, everybody knows the type of person he is. He cares a lot. He loves this game. This game means a lot to him, and so if they give him something to fix, he will get it done. And so I just think he needs some time, and I hope the league understands what type of person he is and gives him that time to make the correction that I know he will make.
Tommy, what did you think of the specific play that in the Seattle game that they singled out? That would seem borderline as well.
I didn't see the Seattle play. I seen some of the other ones, and again, like, you know, if one of the guys is like, I don't know, over 250 pounds going forward, like, I don't know what you do to stop that momentum. I don't know. We're still learning, like I said. So I didn't see the Seattle one. I only saw a couple of them, but some of the plays are hard, and it's a natural movement for a person. So, you know, you have to train that out, and that's it.
And when you get that word that you are eligible to play,
man, just a relief. You know what I mean? Weight off my shoulders. You know, I always trying to play the game the right way. That's how. When I stepped into a league, you know, Coach Kevin Green taught me how to play the game. I know the rule has changed drastically over the years, but you know, I'm just all my intentions, man. I ain't never trying to step out on the field and trying to hurt somebody. That's never my intentions. And you know, I'm not the person where I'm like, I wake up on Sunday mornings like, man, I can't wait to go out there and hurt somebody. That's far from what, you know, my intentions are, man. I respect my peers. I respect my players. I respect the game and what it's done for me, and also like my reputation. You know what I mean? Like 8th year in the league, man. It's a blessing. It's a milestone for me, and you know, I just try to do the right thing the right way. You know what I mean? And you know, I try to approach the game violently. That's how I play the game. I play it aggressive, violently, and you know what we preach here is, you know, is as a defense, man, we want people aggressive, violently, and also doing the right thing, and not going out there and you know, hurting somebody. And you know, I'm just happy everything played out the way it played out, and I'm just happy to be back with the guys, man, and having the chance to play this week. You know what I mean? And that for it.
Do you think you guys have as players, do you feel like you have a clear understanding of what the job is and what they're looking for on us, since it's really
you know, that's a question, you know, I'm trying to ask myself and ask them, you know what I mean, what is it, and you know, it's frustrating for me sometimes to look at it, you know, all the plays that they seen it at, and to see what they're looking at and to see what is a hip drop. I feel like, you know, they're still trying to figure out what is a hip drop, and that's out of my control, you know what I mean? I just worry about making my tackles and, you know, helping my team. But as far as the rule and evaluation on all that, yeah, I don't.
Are you able to get feedback when you do get the fine letters? Like, are you able to reach back out to the league and be like, can you explain?
I mean, hopefully, you know, moving forward, you set up something where I can sit down and talk to them and, you know, just kind of chop it up. What are you guys looking at? What ways that I could work myself better at? Also, like on the practice field. And so, like, anytime I'm heading on game day, like, you know, obviously they got a target on my back. You know what I mean? I'm under a microscope. I'm working on it. I'm trying to be better at it every day.
I was going to ask you, do you feel like you're almost being picked out a little bit with this?
I mean, I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I go out there every Sunday trying to play and help my team win. That's like the main goal for me. But I feel like that's the feeling I feel like I'm under a microscope. And you know, on my part, what I can control is just go out there and you know, make my tackles and not making it seem and leave it up to their hands where it's, you know, it's another fine or it's another thing where I'm trying to appeal. You know what I mean? So Yeah.
You mentioned you like to play physical, you like to
Yeah.
play fast. So does this impact of how you maybe approach the game or how you try to tackle during a game now?
No, it don't change nothing on what I bring to the table. Like, I'm going to still play my game. I'm going to still play fast. I'm going to be aggressive and be physical. Like, that's what we preach. And that's what got me this far, you know what I mean? And I'm going to leave it up to the league to, figure out what they see in the plays that I make. And like I said, I play it one way, and that's the only way I know how to play. And that's fast, physical, and downhill.
You mentioned your reputation.
Yeah.
Something like this, does that concern you? Like, it hurts your reputation in a sense?
I mean, man, it do, because, everything I work for is kind of out there, you know what I mean? It's publicly out there, and, like, to me and to all my families, and, like, they're seeing that, you know what I mean? And also my peers is looking towards me and kind of like, oh, we don't respect Frankie Luvu because he's a dirty, and all those lines or whatever the headline.
Right, people thinking you're a dirty player.
Yeah, the headlines may be, but, you know what I mean? My teammates know who I am. The people that know me and the people that know, around me know who I am as a player, as a person. And none of my intentions are trying to get out there and trying to hurt somebody. You know what I mean? And I try to play the right game, the right way, and I control what I can control. You know what I mean? I can control what other people think about it. And whoever leaves it up to their hands to make a decision if I got to play or not play.
When you start losing like this, I feel like a lot of locker rooms can start pointing the finger or things like that, but it's none of that here. I feel like we're staying together, and, we're just coming to work.
What does that say about the group? Because you bring up a good point, because there's another NFL team that did some finger pointing on Sunday about the blame game, but that's not the case here. What does that say about this group?
Got great leadership. Bobby, Zach, a lot of old heads on the team have done it. Yeah, this is facts, but it's just a lot of old heads on the team that's done it a long time, and I feel like they've done a good job kind of setting the standards, but also just upholding them, and we preach brotherhood, and you got to live it as well, and I feel like we're living it, and we just got to come to work.
I'm sure that fumble's still eating you up. What'd you see? How do you work on it? Kind of how do you move on from that?
Yeah, I just can't be loose with the football, especially entering traffic like that. But you just work on it in practice. You gotta constantly be thinking about it. High and tight. Just can't let that happen again.
A couple guys in this locker room were saying, they've been in seasons where they're 3-5, 3-6, and they were able to turn it around. I don't know if you've had that experience, but where's that belief here that you can turn this around, and it starts with one game?
Yeah, it starts at practice. I feel like, and just coming to work every day. We preach work wins, so we just continue to work. Things gonna turn around. We just gotta like I said, keep the right mindset, no pointing the finger, and stick together.
Last one.
Trying too hard, maybe Coach mentioned, or Marcus mentioned, putting on the Superman cape instead of doing that, just doing your job. Is that possible to do too much?
Oh yeah. I feel like you can start pressing, start doing too much, and that's when bad things can happen. I just feel like if we all just own our role and just play together, and things will work out the way they're supposed to.
Moving down to the sidelines, how does that change things for you as a player and for you guys as a unit?
I think it's just better just for like immediate feedback, just him to get opinions of the guys that's on the field going through it.
And then we were talking to Deebo, and he said remembers he's been on a team with the Niners, and they were 3-5 and made it to the NFC Championship. So when you look at this team, 3-6, obviously it's hard to make the playoffs with a record like that. But does this team have the belief that you guys can do that?
I mean, there's always belief. At least for the guys in this locker room, I know that for sure. And just continue to take this thing one game at a time, man. Got opportunity after opportunity, and it's never over till it's over. So just keep fighting, man. Just keep going out there and putting our best foot forward.
Quan, all these injuries just adding up. What type of an impact does that have on the locker room, just from a psyche, a mentality?
I mean, you can't let it kind of mess with your mental, your mind. You definitely hate to see guys go down, hate to see guys get injured. And it's a physical, it's a violent game. Things gonna happen when you're on the field, and just the next man up, man. I pray for all my brothers that are down right now and trying to get back. So it's tough, man, but you just got to keep going.
As they should be, and high in the belief in the team is like everyone. There's no one in here that thinks the season's over. You know what I mean? And everyone thinks that we can still turn things around, and we're just gonna do what we can with what we have. You know what I mean?
Where does that belief come from?
DQ and I feel like just knowing the abilities that we all have. So.
Or all 7 or all 8 of the games, or is that not something you guys talk about?
We're just taking it more day at a time.
And then obviously it was a tough game Sunday night with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Tough with what happened to Jaden. Just how weird is it being at practice and not seeing number 5 out there on the field?
It's strange, but I pray the best for him and healthy recovery, and hopefully he gets back as soon as he can, especially 100%. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it definitely is strange, but we got Marcus and we played a lot of games with him so far, and we're gonna keep rolling.
Have you ever experienced a season where your teammates so many injuries, and what kind of mental toll does that take on you and in the group?
Yeah, never. Honestly, obviously it's my first year here, but even like my whole life, I've been playing football since I was 4 years old. I've never seen it. But I mean, it does take a toll because like you're losing valuable guys in the locker room, not just like how they play on the field, but the guys in the locker room. But at the same time, I mean, we just have to go with what we have, like I said, and keep the ball rolling and try to go out there and put our best effort forward. So.